I'm joined now by Mark Nagel. He's a professor of sport and entertainment management at the University of South Carolina. So, Mark, where do you see things right now? China topping the medal count, followed by Japan and South Korea. More than 40 countries, but not too surprising here.
No, not at all. I think the dominance of China as an athletic power has just been increasing every year. I don't think anyone predicted that they would not win the gold medal in the overall medal count. But I think the question now, given how great they've performed across so many sports, is by how much will they win the medal count? Will they exceed the huge lead they had 4 years ago at the last Asian Games? I think that's the big question now. There's not much suspense left for, are they going to win or not the medal count?
Yeah, swimming is one sport that they're actually cleaning the table here. And a lot of familiar names that we've seen in the Olympics. Talk about some of the Chinese athletes that you've been watching. What are some of the big storylines to keep out for here?
Well, I think Su Yang has been a phenomenal swimmer. He has been so good. The only thing that can stop him is the podium, as many people may have seen. And if they haven't seen, it's an interesting thing to go look at during the, I believe it was the 200-meter gold medal ceremony. The podium, essentially, part of it collapsed on top of him, so they had to replay the national anthem in the ceremony, so to speak. But other than that, I think he's been unstoppable. I think the interesting question is going to be in the post-Michael Phelps era. He has already been an Olympic champion. He's been a multiple Asian Games champion. He has talked about wanting to be the greatest swimmer in the world, and that opportunity is certainly there in the post-Phelps era, and I'm very curious to see. His times are fantastic and are certainly at the world-class level. Where he's going to be in 2 years on the next Olympics is going to be very, very interesting to watch, as well as a number of other athletes at that are swimming. And I think one of the things that will be interesting in Indonesia, most of the big Olympic Games, Asian Games, swimming kind of dominates the first week of competition, and then as that phases out, we'll head into track and field and some of the other events. And so I think there's going to be some exciting things to look at there, not just in the athletes competing and who wins, but what type of times that they're able to set and how those times compare with world records around the world.
And people around the world may not realize this in some areas, but the Asian Games are held every 4 years. This is the second largest multi-sport event after the Olympic Games, and China is set to host in 2022 in Hangzhou. This is a very big event and a very expensive event to host and put on.
Absolutely, and I think there was a lot of concerns, and given Jakarta, some of the issues, certainly the traffic there is terrible. The subway system that they wanted to build was not completed. There was a lot of worry a number of years ago when they were awarded the Games that the Asian Games would overwhelm the city as well as the other areas that are also hosting events throughout Indonesia. I think the best thing to say about it is it's been mixed results. There's been some issues, there's been some problems. There hasn't been any major problems, any major calamities yet in regards to transportation and housing, but it's certainly a tremendous financial burden for cities that are taking from 0 to 60, so to speak, or to take from nothing and to build world-class facilities and world-class infrastructure. And so I think that's going to be a question a lot of people post-Asian Games in Indonesia are going to ask, is what was the actual outcome financially for the city and so forth. And so right now I think there hasn't been any major calamities, but there's still another week to go, and I think there's also the post-Asian Games analysis of the financials will be very interesting to see what the true number is on the impact.
All right, Mark Nagel in Columbia, South Carolina, thank you.